This weekend, the newly minted Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly show will feature radio and website host Alex Jones. Already, one advertiser has bailed, and the online pushback is fierce. That's because, among other kooky conspiracies he promotes, Jones says the Sandy Hook shootings were fake and that the dead children were actors. Megyn Kelly's new NBC show is up against CBS powerhouse 60 Minutes, so she's trying hard to steer eyeballs her way. First with a sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin, then with sports reporter Erin Andrews, who was notoriously videotaped by a voyeur.
There's naked video of you all over the internet.
Now Kelly is promoting an upcoming interview with InfoWars host Alex Jones.
They call you the most paranoid man in America. Is that true?
Absolutely not.
What he is a crass, craven purveyor of conspiracies.
When you say parents faked their children's death, people get very angry.
I looked at all the angles of Newtown, and I made my statements long before the media even picked up on it.
Kelly defends the interview, saying Jones and his outrageous conspiracy theories have the respect of millions, including Donald Trump. As for what Jones thought of Megyn Kelly...
Cold, robotic, dead.
Now the plot thickens. NBC is said to be re-editing the interview and will include the parent of a Sandy Hook victim. Not to be outdone, Jones says he made a secret recording of Kelly's off-camera remarks. Regardless, if you need any more proof that Jones is a snake oil salesman, just consider this pitch from his InfoWars show.
They really have worked for myself. Secure your Brain Force Plus today at InfoWarsLife.com.
The cuckoo clock is back. You know, I knew I had a good use for it this year. Look, I actually defend interviewing Alex Jones. He is followed by millions. Donald Trump, in some ways, put him on the map. They gave InfoWars a press credential. The biggest problem Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly has is that it's formulaic. They're trying to push her into a Dateline, 60 Minutes format. The opening show, there was a long piece by Cynthia McFadden. There was the obligatory animal piece by, I think, Josh Mankiewicz about saving the elephants or something. She should be doing Alex Jones live on Sunday night. And by the way, if she had promoted a live interview with Alex Jones, there would be some outrage and some pushback and people would be upset. But she'd have a lot of people tuning in. As it is now, they're redoing this thing. It's going to be a cut-up mess. They're including a father of one of the Sandy Hook victims. The show is a disaster. The ratings dropped 42% in 1 week. It's the wrong formula.
Well, if you staged a public execution, that would get great numbers too, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good idea. I don't think that I don't think NBC should be giving Alex Jones a mainstream platform like this, and I don't care how tough she is on him. I assume that she's going to be reasonably tough in the way that she approaches him. I actually like Washington Post columnist Margaret Sullivan's idea, which was take the interview and use it as part of a larger investigative piece on Alex Jones, instead of simply giving him this platform, telling him you think he's nuts, and then everybody goes away.
But you know what? Other people have interviewed him. Jim Rutenberg, Scott Pelley did that other nutty guy, Mike Cernovich.
Yeah.
So she's getting a lot of criticism, I think, partly because it's Megyn Kelly.
She is, and I mean, deservedly so, I think, because Megyn Kelly exists within a certain context. When she was at Fox, you'd say, gee, she's not as crazy as Sean Hannity. You take her out of Fox and put her on a mainstream news organization like NBC, I don't think it works.
I think this is a really good example of how the mainstream media still doesn't know how to handle the alt-right. They still don't know how to handle conspiracy theorists. You can't toady up to them off camera, say
which she did,
which isn't going to be a hatchet job. We're really interested. I just want to give you a spotlight, and then not expect your regular audience to not be outraged. They're trying to bring in Alex Jones's audience to a site and to a network that Alex Jones's audience thinks is illegitimate. There's no way to do that without stepping on a landmine at some point. And if you sink to someone else's level, they'll beat you with experience down there. And I think that's what we're seeing with the release of the secretly taped pre-interview tapes and now the re-editing. They just don't know how to handle this.
Go ahead, Kathy.
No, I was going to say I couldn't agree more with both of you. I do have a problem with her interviewing for just the reasons that Lila has said. It just completely legitimizes this guy. He exists, and she exists in her context. These are the kinds of people she interviewed on her other show, and so this is right in her wheelhouse. And so I'm not surprised that she did it, so let me put that on the table. But I am surprised that NBC, in its eagerness to get ratings, would just go along with it. I mean, I know you love her.
It may have been their idea.
I'm gonna
Probably
bet
not
it probably was.
David Corvo or
you
somebody
know,
like that.
I'm saying that this is disgusting.
Yeah.
And that, Lila, your point about they don't know how to handle it is, I mean, there has to be some kind of way of looking at this material and these folks who exist in this space without giving them a legitimate platform to do it. And I don't care that other people interviewed them or interviewed somebody else crazy. This man, not only with the Sandy Hook, in case people don't know, he was the main motivator behind Pizzagate, which let that man, that deranged man, show up there with a rifle, and thank God the police showed up before he killed somebody, thinking there was a pedophile ring in the bottom of the basement. Now, Jones has had to recuse some of that because he's been sued. So I don't want to hear this business about he's an entertainer, it's for ratings, this is whatever. This is exactly the kind of stuff she did on Fox, and so have at it, NBC, but I strongly disagree.
Yeah, this kind of reminded me of the episode, it has to be a decade ago now, remember the terrible mass shooting at Virginia Tech?
Yep.
Yes.
The perp then mailed videotapes of his deranged rantings to NBC. And so they had an exclusive, and they ran them ad nauseum with their bug. An NBC News exclusive. Remember the great John Carroll line about how, gee, not real smart to brand yourself as the network of a vicious mass murderer. This is the same thing. And one other thing, I don't want to necessarily go to bat for Megyn Kelly because I'm not a huge fan of hers. She did tell off Karl Rove on election night, remember? So she obviously has a brain.
Oh,
There's
she
no
does,
question
yeah.
about that. Why is it that women in network and sometimes in local TV are consigned to the personality interview? Why couldn't she be Leslie Stahl in this case and tear this guy a much-deserved new one?
I think the whole show should be Megyn Kelly from start to finish, eliminate everybody else, do it live, bring people in, have her do some field stuff so they can get from moment to moment, and they might have a program.
I
This
think you may
formula
be right,
is a disaster.
but remember, this is what she wanted. So remember, she
I
wanted
don't know
to
about
break
that.
free. Yeah, yes, she said.
No,
I
no.
wanted to have an.
I know
prime
who.
time.
I know who. No,
Yeah.
I know, but that's not who put the formula together. That's NBC anyway.
Okay, all right.